first video that I'm recording for my channel, and this is so exciting. This was not the plan, but we're here. So today, January the 19th, but a year ago, so not 2021, 2020 was the day that I found out I was pregnant. Y'all want to know about that story? So here we go. So first of all, y'all should know I have a daughter. Her name is Ava. She's 3. I have a son. His name is Isaiah. He's 4 months. So, me and y'all always said that the year that Ava turned 3, that will be the year where we would have another baby. Now, Ava wasn't planned or anything like that. I like to say that Ava wasn't an accident, but she wasn't not an accident. So, little backstory. Most of y'all know, if you already follow me, that me and Jahad got married after being together for 10 years. We were high school sweethearts, and we also waited until we got married to have sex for the first time. So, Ava was kind of like we waited 10 years to be able to do this, and who's using the condom? So I thought I was tracking my ovulation correctly, but you know, that stuff can vary. So hence we have Ava, born 2017. So fast forward, well, when people would ask us, oh, when y'all gonna have another one? Y'all don't want another baby, blah, blah, blah. We're like, yeah, but you know, we're not really thinking about it. And we always say to each other, well, the year that Ava turns 3, we will, you know, have another baby. So we have some really close friends, the Thompsons, and they have a baby also the same age as Ava, which is our godson. His name is JJ, and they're 4 days apart. And that wasn't planned. They were pregnant, and then I found out the same week that they told us they were pregnant that I was pregnant. But we did purpose, after raising children together the first time, that the next time we had children, we would do it together again, because it's amazing. So January, or maybe it was the end of December, and 2019 comes, and myself, my husband, and the Thompsons, we all have a group chat. And so I sent out this text on behalf of me and Jasmine, to our husbands, saying, listen, we know this is the year coming up that we said we would get pregnant, try to have another baby, blah, blah, blah. But before we get to that, these are the rules, type of thing, like cater to us, no back talk. We shouldn't have to ask y'all to do stuff more than once, stuff like that. So that was our plan. So then I'm talking to my husband on the side, and we're kind of just like, we kind of like how things are. You know, Ava is starting to do stuff on her own. She's not so dependent. My husband was really getting serious about his music, and I had other things I wanted to pursue. It's like, well, maybe a baby at this time isn't the best. So we told each other, well, we'll just wait till this time next year, which would have been now, today. So we good. Like, I'm content in my heart and in my mind. Like, yeah, I can, another year. You know, Ava being 4 when the baby comes, that's still a good little age gap where she's old enough, but, you know, not too old where they won't have a close relationship. So we tell our pregnancy partners, I'm like, we went out with them for their anniversary, which is January 2nd. So when we went to dinner, we were just like, yeah, y'all, we know, you know, we said that we would have these baby number 2 together, but we not ready. We just gonna push it off another year. So they were just like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. You know, I mean, that's unfortunate, but hey, we get it. So, y'all, that was the day I got pregnant, but I ain't know. Anywho, in our heads, next year. We didn't think about no baby this year. And, well, in 2020. So this same month, my husband has his music coming out. He's releasing his first single. I want him to have a single release party. Like, it was just a huge deal, a lot of stuff going on. So his single released on January the 17th. And at his single release, we had like a spread of food, and it was like finger foods, but it was a whole spread, and we had drinks and stuff like that. And literally every time I looked at something, I got queasy. But I didn't think much of it because my period's supposed to be coming. And according to my calculations, my period was going to come late that month anyway, because I thought that I had ovulated late the month before. Now let's back up to January 2nd, 2020. It's really January 1st. Okay, so, just like me and my husband being grown, doing what married people do. And it was January 1st, technically. You know how it's still the day before if you ain't go to sleep yet and open your eyes. So yeah, it was really January 2nd, early in the morning, like 1 in the morning. But in our heads, it's still New Year's Day. So my husband was trying to woo me and all that stuff. Like, yeah, it's New Year's. Trying to sweet talk me. Like, yeah, we got to get it in, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I guess so. I guess, I can oblige or whatever. So we do what we do, because I don't want this to be vulgar. We do what we do, and normally a condom has to be worn, but this time I'm like, we know we don't want kids. 10 gonna do nothing to jeopardize us. I'm not thinking I'm pregnant at all. Like, whatsoever. It's the furthest thing from my mind. So fast forward back to the single release party. Like, literally everything I look at is making me queasy. But I'm thinking, it's probably because my period's about to come, blah, blah, blah. But y'all, everything. And it was just like, not even like I don't want that. It was like I felt sick to my stomach every time I would look at some food. So I ain't eat that night. So the next morning, which was a Saturday, my husband had to go to work. So it was just me and Ava in the house. And y'all, when I tell you, I could not pull myself out of the bed. I could not get up. Like, I was so tired. And thank God, like, my daughter must have been on the same wave, because she was sleeping too. When I tell y'all I didn't get out of bed till 3 p.m., and I forced myself. I was like, all right, Simone, you got to get out the bed, because your daughter got to eat. Like, your kid can't be hungry all day. So I forced myself to get up, and I made her the simplest thing. What did I make her? I think I had made her like Eggos. I popped them bad boys in the toaster and gave her a fruit cup and called it a day, because I literally didn't have the energy to even do that. So I'm like, thinking to myself, like, it was a small thing in my head. It was like, girl, you pregnant. But I was like, no, because literally that month we had only had sex one time, because we were so busy with everything else. And I just knew I wasn't. So then, y'all know this about me, I deal with anxiety. So I'm like, well, Lord Jesus, what's going on with my period now? Something wrong with me. Oh, shoot, I got to figure out what's going on, because I might be about to die. And I'm sitting up here just in the bed thinking I'm overly tired, and I'm like, something could be going haywire in my body. That's how my mind works. I'm working on it. Don't worry about it. So my husband gets home, and I tell him, I'm like, yeah, I'm just so tired today. I'm just so sleepy. Like, I can't get out of the bed. And we both chalk it up to, we've been doing a lot. Like, we've been going and going and going, trying to make sure his single release was a success, that, it was just everything that he wanted it to be. I was like, yeah, you're probably right. But in the back of my head, the way my anxiety set up, I'm like, tomorrow morning, if my period's still not here, I'm going to take a pregnancy test. Now, I thought I was taking a pregnancy test so that when I call my OBGYN the next morning, I could already have had that done. Because I knew she'd be like, oh, well, you should take a pregnancy test, blah, blah, blah. I could be like, sis, I did that already. I'm not pregnant. So what are we doing from here? Because Aunt Flo, did she skip town? Like, what's happening? Because I haven't seen her. So after that, I just kind of put it on my head and stuck to that. Like, okay, well, if my period's still not here tomorrow, then I'll go and test. I'll just take a pregnancy test first thing in the morning. So I get up early the next morning, which is a Sunday, January the 19th. I get up. Y'all, when I tell you I am praying that my period is here, I am praying that it's there. Of course, it's not. So I'm like, oh, okay. So in our house, we have a bathroom on the main level when you walk in, a half bath, and 2 full baths upstairs. One is the main bathroom and one is the ensuite in me and my husband's room. So I'm like, I'm gonna go take this downstairs in the bathroom because Jahad and Ava are still in the bed asleep. So I go downstairs, get the pregnancy test, and I'm like, all right, let me just go ahead and do this. Now, I'm nervous about doing it, not because I think I'm pregnant, but because I'm like, if this come back negative, what's wrong with me? Like, I know I'm not premenopausal. I'm only, at the time, I was only 28. Like, I'm 28 years old. Like, I know I'm not premenopausal. Y'all, this all this crazy stuff in my head. So, I take the test, clear blue. Y'all, the pregnancy test said positive before I even start peeing on it. Okay? You know how normally say you got to sit it there, let it sit for 3 minutes, lay it on a level surface and all this other stuff. This how much it threw me. When I pulled it out and it already said positive, I set it down. I was like, nah, this gotta be wrong because it hasn't been sitting down for 3 minutes. Y'all. Okay, so I sit there, set a timer for 3 minutes like an idiot because it wasn't supposed to be positive, right? The 3 minutes go by. Y'all, why I'm peeking like immediately, like shaking like this. My hands are shaking. I can barely pick up my phone. I call Jasmine and I'm like, what are you doing? She was on her way to church. And her husband, Jeremy, was in the car. I was like, okay, I'm just going to call you back. Then I called my sister and my hands are like shaking. I call her. She is panicking. She thinks somebody died or something because of how hysterical I am. And she was like, what's wrong? I was like, because I just took a pregnancy test and it came back positive. And me and Jahad just said we ain't want no more kids right now. And now I'm pregnant. Y'all, like I did this by myself. Like I trapped a man. Like he ain't my whole husband. Okay. So she was like, Simone, calm down, calm down. I was like, I'm just not going to tell him. Y'all, I'm acting like I had a whole little one night stand. Like my husband was upstairs. So I was like, I'm just not going to tell him. I'm going to wait till I go to the doctor and for them to give me a pregnancy test because this can't be right. Like, y'all, I'm delusional at this point. Like, I'm not thinking rationally. So she was like, Jahad is not even that type of man. He's not that type of man. You didn't make that baby by yourself. And I was like, yeah, I know, but we literally just said we ain't want no more kids right now. Y'all, I am broken on the inside, okay? So I was like, okay, I'm going to call you back. So then, y'all, my husband know me too well, and he pays way too much attention to me. So I come upstairs. I try to dry my eyes, look like I hadn't been crying, get myself together before I come back in the room. And I come in the room. He says, where was you? I said, in the bathroom. He said, doing what? I said, using it. Like I'm trying to act as normal as possible, right? He looked at me. He said, why are you creeping? All that stuff I wasn't telling him. Y'all, I bawl. I just break out in tears. And I was like, I'm pregnant. Y'all want to know what his response was? Yeah, okay. I hurled that pregnancy test at him. Like, no, I'm really pregnant. Then his response was to, but how? I'm like, you tell me, sir. I placed my life in your hands. I trusted you, and that New Year's night escapades wouldn't have me in this predicament. Yet, here I am with a positive pregnancy test. Okay? It's positive. It's clear as day. It was positive within the first 5 seconds, sir. So there's really something going on inside my body. So he looking at me like, because y'all, once again, I'm bawling because I'm pregnant. He was like, Mom, calm down. It's okay. I'm excited. I'm like, you excited? Why are you excited? Because that's not what we discussed. But I'm still in denial. So I go to the grocery store. I get me 2 more pregnancy tests. First response. The first one was clear blue. I'm like, let me do first response because it's red dye. You know, sometimes they say the blue dye could be a little iffy. So let me get the red dye because I'm still in denial. And I was like, now wait till tomorrow morning and do it again, and then do one in the evening. So I did that. Both of them positive, clear as day. Took no time. Didn't take the whole 3 to 5 minutes that they tell you to wait. Immediately it was positive. A week later, I'm still in denial. So I go and get another one. And this time I get the dollar store brand because I'm like, now if this say positive, okay, I really must be pregnant. Same thing. And now I have this healthy, bubbly 4-month-old baby boy. Talk to y'all in the next video.